Good evening. Happy Wednesday. Oh, happy hump day. Happy. It's been an interesting weekday. Um, I am. I'm asking you to let me know how you're doing. What's going on in your life? What can I support you with in prayer? Um, how's the week going? That's loud.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm hearing an echo.
Yes, no, you're right.
We're having a few sound issues tonight. They're mostly funny and mostly my overlooking what it is I'm supposed to be doing before I get started. So bear with us. But you'd think we'd be that at this point we'd know,
Well, I was looking at the visual part of it.
and not noticing that.
Correct. Now it's all fixed. Now you're good.
Thank you,
Pleasure.
thank you. Yes, and now my microphone is attached. I hope.
All right.
Yeah, it is.
And Laney is here, and all should be well.
Oh, good, because I can't see Lainey.
And Dana.
I can't see that.
All right. I'll tell you who's here.
All right. Let's see if I do anything to any of these other things. Will it? I don't think so. Let's try over here. What happens if I do add column? I'm afraid. No, that's not it, I don't think. Let's just do remove. I don't fully know what I'm doing, so I'm going to stop doing it. Um, Last Sunday, my little column on the side that shows up that tells me who's here and what you're saying and all that wonderful stuff wasn't there.
Jennifer's here.
Okay, you're just going to have to, and if anybody says anything I need to know about, you're going to have to tell me.
I'll tell you
'Cause-
that too. I'll send little airplanes over.
Yeah, little paper airplanes. That'd be very fun. That'd be very fun. I don't know. I don't know why that isn't there. I'm trying to push all the buttons and see if it pops up, but it's not doing that. So, if any of you happen to know how I can get that back, let me know. I don't know why it went away, but I can't see who's here and I can't see what you're saying. So if it seemed like I was ignoring you on Sunday, I wasn't ignoring you. I couldn't see or hear you. So CAC is going to kind of play interpreter for me tonight and let me know who's here. Hi, everybody. I love you.
Laney had lunch with Jenny and
Oh.
Sandy Davis.
How
She
did that
looks
go?
Good and is doing well.
Great. Great. Happy, happy, happy to hear that. Happy to hear that. She's been through quite a bit. Excuse me, dry tickle in my throat and hair in my eyes. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there we go. I hope you gave her my love, Jenny, that is, and Sandy. And I hope they're both doing fine, and I keep track of you pretty well, I think, as much as you let me. But thank you for filling me in on that. I appreciate it. And prayer will continue, I think. Ginny's little body has been through quite a bit, and I'd like to support her, continue supporting her in prayer and knowing that she's gaining strength and feeling good and will very soon be back to even better than her old self. That'd be my prayer. So, how about the rest of you? Who's doing what and what's going on in your lives that I can be praying for? And stuff like that. Since I can't see you, so you can say anything and you can ask cack to edit it or whatever, because I'm out here on my own staring at a screen and not seeing your input, and I don't know why. I don't know why. And that drives me crazy. Not knowing always drives me crazy.
Kirk is going to try to join later because he's working.
Is he working? Okay. I have Jennifer all to myself right now. Yay! We love Kirk. I hope he can make it. But Jen, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for being here, my dear. And who else is here?
Lainey and Dana.
Lainey and Dana. Okay, it's Dana. Hi, darling. How are you? You getting ready for your surgery? About 2 weeks away? How are you feeling? Are you comfortable with it? I will continue to pray, of course, but if there's anything you'd like me to add to that, just let me know. I'm on it. I so enjoy my prayer time. I so enjoy it. I can remember being on the prayer team. Lainey, you probably did this too. At Asilomar, and you would get a stack of cards. A stack of like 3x5 cards with people's names and church affiliation and what it is they wanted you to pray for. And
Jennifer wants you to pray that she can find all the wonderful info and pictures to make her mother's service really beautiful.
Okay. Will do. When is that going to be, Jen? Let me know. I don't know why I want to know, but that question just kind of really popped into my head. So if you would let us know when the service will be, and if you want, let us know where the service will be. Okay?
May 5th.
May 5th. Oh, it's my granddaughter's birthday. Cinco de Mayo. It's Kate's birthday. We suggested that they name her Cinco de Mayo, but the parents chose Kate instead. Wise decision. We were being smart Alex.
Dana says she's doing well, making arrangements for everything, keeping busy, helps keep her mind off the surgery, knowing all will go well, just a little bit scary nonetheless.
Well, of course, darling. Surgery is always kind of scary, nonetheless. But you're going to be fine. We know that for you. You're going to be fine. Well, you are fine. You're going to continue in your fineness. That I know about you. Okay. So, well, I guess you filled me in pretty well, haven't you? Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm feeling like I'm flying out here blind, just... I like my little thing over here so I know what you're saying and who's here. I like that. I don't like being in the dark, as it were, even though I'm in the light. And I want to know where my little column went. And have you ever tried to communicate with Facebook? Challenging. They really don't want to talk to you. I get it. I get it. What's that?
Do you have a full screen? Can you just scoot the window over?
No. No, see, it should be right there. It's always right there. It's not there.
Dashboard options.
I've been there,
Oh,
done
you've
that.
been there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then they're just lost forever.
I know it. It just went away, and I don't know why.
Sorry.
And it's okay. I have my interpreter.
You do.
And I think I'll
Jennifer's
quit talking about what's not here.
Jennifer's mother's memorial is in Lancaster, the Joshua Mortuary at 10 a.m. on the 5th of May.
Joshua?
Joshua
Got it.
Mortuary, Lancaster.
Okay. Like I said, I don't know why I needed to know all that, but I did.
You're nosy.
Well, that's part of it, I suppose. I am kind of nosy. But I just like to have all the information. It somehow makes me feel more comfortable. So if somebody were to call me and say, where is it? At least I know, and I can pass that information on. Okay, so let me talk about what I'd like to talk to you about tonight. Yeah? Okay. So, a friend who, I don't know, was maybe thinking about plugging in and listening asked me the other day what I was going to talk about tonight. And my answer was the same answer I give any time that question is asked. I don't know. But she said, don't you work on your talk? Don't you do research for it all week long? And I said, yeah, I do. I do a great deal of research. I just don't always know what I'm researching until the day when I sit down to make my notes. Then life usually hands me a ton of information that it turns out I've been gathering all week and wasn't paying attention to it. Or I've been gathering all my life and wasn't paying attention. And that becomes my talk, which I usually write on Tuesday, but have been known to write or rewrite the entire thing on Wednesday, which is kind of what happened tonight. So she said, you procrastinate. Not exactly, I said. But yeah, I confessed, sometimes I do. Don't we all? In 1827, Thomas de Quincey wrote, once a man indulges in murder, pay attention, very soon he comes to think little of robbing. And from robbing he comes next to drinking and Sabbath breaking, and from that to procrastination. I know it feels like it's backwards, but that's not the way he wrote it. Procrastination, it is said, is the art of keeping up with yesterday. Others have called it the thief of time. Philip Stanhope, the 4th Earl of Chesterfield, I knew you needed to know that, suggested that we overcome procrastination with immediate action. He's the one who first said, never put off till tomorrow what you can do today. He must have been a Virgo. On the other hand, Mark Twain suggested that we never put off till tomorrow what you can put off till the day after tomorrow. He was probably a Libra. So which quote becomes your motto? Which expert voice do you listen to? I, for one, when faced with a difficult choice, tend to go into research mode. On Saturday afternoon, Cac will say, how's the talk going? And sometimes I can say, it's fine, and mean it. And sometimes my reply is more along the lines of, I think I'm almost there. It hasn't quite clicked yet. I'm waiting for the click, which usually means that I'm lost in cyberspace la-la land and really don't yet have a clue about what my whole point is going to be. But I am definitely researching. Gratefully this week, Seth Godin in his blog did a lot of my research work for me. When I jump into a piece that I think is genius, I tend to quit right there. So I came upon an article that he wrote called Buzzer Management. And this is what it said. His words. I started the quiz team at my high school. Alas, I didn't do so well at the tryouts, so I ended up as the coach. But we made it to the finals. It took me 30 years to figure out the secret of getting ahead of others who also knew the answer. Because the right answer is no good if someone else gets the buzz. Think Alex Trebek and Jeopardy. The first one to buzz in is the only one who can throw out an answer. Now, if he misses, then the other two can take a chance. But anyway, here's the secret. You need to press the buzzer before you know the answer. You want me to repeat that? You need to press the buzzer before you know the answer, before being the key word in that sentence. As soon as you realize that you will probably be able to identify the answer by the time you're asked, buzz. Between the time you buzz and the time you're supposed to speak, the answer will come to you. And if it doesn't, the penalty for being wrong is small compared to the opportunity to get it right. Now, to some of us, this feels wrong in so many ways. It feels reckless and careless and selfish. Of course, we're supposed to wait until we're sure we know the answer before we buzz, aren't we? But the waiting leads to a pattern of not buzzing. And not buzzing is the very definition of failing. If you don't buzz in, you'll never even have a chance to answer the question. So you've lost before you ever even got started. There's always a risk in jumping in. It's just going ahead and doing whatever it is. Of course there's a risk. No musician is ever sure his album is going to be a hit. No author is sure anyone will actually pay to read her book. No entrepreneur is certain that every hire is going to be a good one. We all know this one. No parent can know that every decision they make is going to be correct. There are very few guarantees in life. But here's one for sure. If you don't buzz in, you won't win because you can't. Most of the time, the distance between where we are and where we want to be is far shorter than we suppose. We just need to decide to leave where we are, where it's safe and comfortable and we don't make a fool of ourselves. But, and once again I turn to the words of Seth Godin, walking away from something that we're used to, even if it's unjust or inefficient or ineffective, usually takes far too long. Fear, momentum, and the status quo combine to keep us stuck. Have you ever stayed in the wrong place too long? I have. It turns out that the status quo is the status quo because it's really good at sticking around. But brave people stand up and speak up and take action. They buzz in. And the system starts to change. Better is possible if we care enough to walk away from what was and brave enough to build something new. Too often I think we don't buzz in because we're not sure we know enough, or are smart enough, or good enough, or important enough. What separates this buzz in, do it now approach from mere recklessness is the experience of discovering when it's a good time to buzz in. In the right situation, in the right category, you can look like a genius. The current popular view of intelligence, which is the basis of judging genius, is that it is a single general capacity possessed by every individual to a greater or lesser extent, and that it is measurable. Which is why we take those silly IQ tests when they come up online. But what if genius and intelligence is really the expression of unique talents or capacities that an individual has jumped into and excels in? Genius, you may have noticed, is not limited to specific fields, and every field produces geniuses. Michelangelo was a genius at painting, but I wonder how he was with math. Einstein was a genius, once he got out of school where they kept saying he had learning problems. See, geniuses may share the title, but their differences are vast. And they are mostly recognized because they excelled once they specialized. So, could it be that focusing on your gifts, doing what your heart leads you to do, and just jumping into the fray, regardless of what others may say, actually makes your work better? That buzzing helps you dig deeper and unearth things, talents, information that you may not have even known you had? Could it be, Seth writes, that buzzing inspires you? If you've ever watched Jeopardy, and I've watched a lot of Jeopardy over the years, if you've ever watched Jeopardy, have you seen those times when the guy who buzzed then read the question and went blank, and you could see it. You could see it in his face. And then all of a sudden the answer came through, and even he was surprised, or she was surprised. It happens all the time. It's in there. See, Seth isn't wrong. The adrenaline rush moves things in your brain, shakes loose the cobwebs, gets your personal search engine pointing in the direction of the right answer. And even better yet, spiritually speaking, and that's what I like to do best, even better yet, the spiritual rush that coincides with actually taking a step in the direction you want to go moves things in your universe. The acclaimed spiritual and psychological guru Nike put it best: just do it. Now, writes Paul in his letter to the Corinthians, now is the accepted time. He doesn't say when you get around to it or when it feels safe, but now. Ernest Holmes wrote that we live in an instantaneous now, an ever-present here. And this here is where things happen. This is where what will be begins. Not out there, not tomorrow, not next week. Now. The gardener who repeatedly says, tomorrow I will plant seeds, will never get a garden growing. We can, in fact we do, demonstrate things in life in spite of ourselves, in spite of our weaknesses, in spite of our fear, in spite of our procrastination. But as Freud once put it, too often we are riding the horse in the direction it wants to go, which may or may not get us where we want to go. And that's sad. Stephen Leacock pretty much made the same point about the power of being consciously aware, consciously creative, or the absence thereof, when he wrote, he flung himself from the room, flung himself upon his horse, and rode off madly in all directions. Not productive. Not going to get you where you want to go. So, Ernest Holmes used to open his television and radio show with the words, "There is a power for good in this universe, and you can use it." I always liked that. But after some study, and of course a good deal of research, I find I have to disagree a bit with the master. No thunderbolts. So far, so good. There is a power for good in this universe. Oh, yes, there is. And it is not that you can use it, but that you do use it all the time. You cannot not use it. The power is turned on all the time, and you cannot turn it off, and you are connected to it. But if you are not giving it conscious direction, if you are not drawing up a blueprint for what it is you want it to do, then it is creating your life according to the dominant direction of your subconscious thought. And that may or may not be in alignment with your goals and dreams. And that is not so good. Remember, this is potent stuff. This is the power of an intelligent energy, an actual power and force which, when consciously directed, can accomplish great good in your life. But without conscious direction, we use the power haphazardly, and it may or may not produce what we consider to be good in our lives. Why leave it to chance? This is your life. Creative life in the universe at large, out there, seems to be directed from beyond this realm, or at least from beyond our current understanding. But on an individual basis, each of our lives must be directed, and that direction must come from us. You really wouldn't want it any other way. You don't want someone or something else determining what your tomorrow is going to look like. There is, at the heart of things, an intelligence that is the source of ultimate possibility in each of our lives. And it waits our recognition of it. And it waits for us, in us, as us. It waits for direction. And it has nowhere else to go and nothing to do of itself. So it waits. And when we are not consciously creating from a belief of ongoing good, from a belief in wholeness and abundance and joy, when we are not directing our thoughts to the creation of our goals and our dreams, well, then that power occupies itself with creating our lives from those ideas that are filling our thoughts. And if you think about what you've been thinking about lately, that may or may not be good news. The physical universe, gratefully, is not run on the scale of our ignorance or lack of thought. Some things like air and gravity and the sun rising are gratefully factory installed. But our lives, our individual lives, absolutely go in the direction that we consciously or unconsciously give them. Oliver Wendell Holmes, the Supreme Court judge, not the metaphysician, once wrote, "The great thing in this world is not so much where we stand, but in what direction we are going. To reach the port of heaven, we must sail sometimes with the wind and sometimes against it. But we must sail and not drift, nor lie at anchor." What we demonstrate in our lives today or tomorrow, what shows up on our personal nightly newscast, or in the trend of our daily activities, is not so important as the trend of our thoughts, the dominant attitude of our minds. If every day we think things are better, if every day we are determined to be a little happier, if every day we believe we are a little healthier, more giving, more joyous, more powerful, then we're pointing our minds in the right direction. Holmes, the judge, was also noted for having used the phrase, a clear and present danger. What we must come to realize is that the only real, clear, and present danger in our lives is our inability or unwillingness to understand the power that we have at our command. We are given the power to sit in the midst of our lives and direct them to a greater good. But I can't say it enough. We do need to. We really must do the directing. Thoreau once wrote, if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. Creating success in any area of our lives, whether we're talking about relationships or physical healing or financial well-being or fill in your own blank, is about having the courage to advance confidently in the direction of your dreams, not in the direction of your fears or your doubts. Which would you have more of in your life? Your fears and doubts or your dreams? Go there. Buzz in. Jump in. It just means making sure your thoughts are supporting what you want to have in your life, and then creating a new habit. The habit is simple. Buzz first. Buzz when you're confident that you've got a shot. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Jump on in. If it is what you have been asking for, if it is what you have been praying for, then it is clearly your turn to buzz in. Don't wait. If it is what your heart calls you to do, buzz in. Buzz in, jump at the chance to succeed. Buzz in, jump at the chance to heal. Buzz in, jump at the chance to be happy. If it gets out of hand, the world, your life will let you know. Just know that. Just be warned. The act of buzzing leads to leaping, and leaping leads to a greater work, and greater work leads to a better life. Just know it's not the other way around. Think Jeopardy for a moment. The category is your life. And who knows more about that subject than you do? You are, in fact, a genius when it comes to that. You've got this. Buzz, jump. Just do it. Buzz. Jump. Do it. Okay, so I had fun with that one. Yes?
Heidi says, I can't believe this, but I'm taking exception to a statement you made.
Uh-oh.
Oftentimes, it's not so much accepting the power, it's knowing how to use it.
And, hold on, I have hair in my eyes. True. First of all, I think you do have to accept that it's there, though. First step. And then in order to use it, well, that's what we're here for, isn't it? I mean, yeah, somebody at some point has probably got to tell us, if you think positively, if you believe you have power within you, and even if you're pretending in the beginning, even if you're just testing it, that's how you learn. And then, here's something else I believe. Once you know Once you know you've got it and you have learned how to use it, the trick then is to use it. How many things do we... I got to tell you, when I've gotten better, especially living with a Virgo who just goes crazy if I do insane things. There was a time in my life when if I wanted to put a nail in the wall to hang a picture on it, I would look around for something solid to hit it with. Now, did I own a hammer? Yes. Did I want to go to the garage and get the hammer out of the box and bring it back in? No. Ashtray would do fine. You got to use it. You got to use what you've got. Wonder why the video is pausing. And if that makes you say, wait a minute, can she see what I'm writing? Yes, I found it somewhere. It's not where it used to be and it's not where it's supposed to be, but I found it. What happens if I click that? Oh, I'm afraid to do that. I won't do that. So, I just love the whole idea of giving yourself a chance by taking a chance. I love the idea that buzz first. Now, if you know you don't know a darn thing about the category, and that happens in life all the time, I think, doesn't it? If you know you don't know anything, then you might want to hold back. This isn't your thing. But if it's your life we're talking about, or if it's something you know something about, take a chance. Take a chance. You can't win if you don't buzz in. That's my point for tonight. Yeah, Heidi, I get it, and you're not wrong. You've got to use it. You can't just know about it. You know, I know about hammers. I know about hammers. I know that hammers exist. I actually own one. But do I use it when I most need to? That's the question. And yes, it can be overwhelming. It can absolutely be overwhelming. I get you. I get you. It's scary sometimes. And sometimes when it starts working, sorry, I'm so, now that I can see what you're saying, I kind of like all want to see what you're all saying.
Oh, you can. You've got your hoo-ha back.
It has, well, not exactly, but it's here. Strangely, but it's here. Buzz, 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 buzz. Lainey, you're not wrong. Lainey says, I think we forget the power is there. Of course we do. We fall back on old patterns. We buy into the appearance of the moment, think, I've got to do something right now. And we tend to not instantly remember that we have this power at our disposal that we can do something about. So we learn, don't we? We learn. I'm trying something here, but it's not working. All right, fine. I'm happy. Sort of. Well, sometimes I get a message, those of you who are getting it. Let's say the video is paused, or sometimes it says, we're sorry, we can't show this video right now. And the first time it showed up, I thought, oh, God, did I say something wrong? What's going on? But ultimately, it just meant that they couldn't show me what was going on. It didn't mean that they weren't keeping track of what was going on. So, and you could see it. Okay, let me see. Now, am I missing anything? Oh, Lenny, you're so right. You know, our old habit of thinking is very strong. Don't we get caught up in the everyday chaos? And Laney, don't we get excited when we remember? Yes, we do. Look, oh my God, I could be doing this. Duh. Yeah. So I guess maybe, I'd like to think, that's why we get together on Wednesdays and Sundays and to help us remember so that when we're not together, it's in there. It's in there. And we can call upon it. And do we always? No. Do we sometimes? Yeah, we do. And I think the more often we do it and the more often we see the results, the more often we feel like we have succeeded, the better the tendency that we will remember the next time. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Seth is the best. I agree with that. I'm sorry that any of you are getting kicked off. That's just kind of annoying. It's more than annoying. They shouldn't do that to you. And yes, the world at large tends to reinforce the old thinking. Of course it does. I suppose that's why this is called New Thought and has been called New Thought for a very long time. Um, we can't buy into the world at large. And that's where faith comes in. We can't buy into the appearances. Because if we do, then nothing changes. Whether I'm talking about our individual lives or the world at large, we've got to be willing to take a stand and stand up for what we believe in. And there isn't always a lot of support for that. Sometimes there is. And I think there's more now than there used to be. But it's still a ways to go. However, aren't we seeing changes in the world that suggest that the world is more open to change? And that's all we really ask, isn't it? That it stays open to change. Stays open to a new way of thinking and doing and being and believing in time. In time. All righty then. Shall we pray? I think I'd like to pray. My little thing has disappeared again. No, it isn't. There it is. There it is. However, I don't think it's working. Go for it, Lainey. Okay, so that's Facebook, I'm sure, because I haven't touched anything over here. So there's no reason anybody should lose sound.
When powerful people are together at the same time, Facebook goes crazy.
Crazy. Well, there we go. I like your theory.
That's it.
So we'll just live with it. And let's challenge him, shall we? Let's challenge him. Let's pray that Facebook has a come to Jesus moment and fixes whatever their problems may be. Too much power in the room. I think that's probably true. Yes. Yes, so let's use that power, shall we? Right now, let's use it. Let's focus it all. Bring it in and focus it. Close your eyes if that's comfortable. If not, just soft focus. So that you're going within. You're drawing from the well. And know with me that you are never alone. God is and we are right where you are right now. And there is no separation, not even the tiniest sliver of a separation between you and the power of God in your life. Not the tiniest sliver. You are, in fact, one melded and combined and infused and saturated, permeated with God. Call it what you will. It doesn't much care what you call it. We make up names for it because that's the only way we can talk about it, but it's greater than any name we can give it. And it abides in and through not just the entire universe and beyond, but in and through everything, everyone, every bit of you. What greater power could we ask for? What greater possibility can we imagine? The infinite lives in you. The unlimited lives in you. The greatest power on earth lives in you and awaits your remembrance, your recollection of its presence, that you may then direct it to a greater good. Take a breath in and recognize that you breathe in the power of God, the presence of God. And exhale any thoughts that are unlike that, any thoughts that demean or belittle your awareness of that power. There is only that. There is only that. Deeply within you, deeply, deeply within you, and all around about you, all that there is that. And within you, it waits for direction. And so we speak our word tonight to create a blueprint. To create lives that are bigger, better, stronger, healthier, more aware, more awake, less forgetful. We speak our word to acknowledge the presence within us and call it up, to bless our lives and the lives of those that we love. We know that as we address that power, so it moves in each one of our lives. It assists Jennifer in making arrangements and finding pictures so that her mother's memorial service will be everything that she wants it to be, and that it will honor the woman of the day. We know that as we call it forth within Dana, it helps her in making the arrangements she needs to make before surgery, in getting everything in order so that she has nothing to worry about, but simply a great healing to look forward to. In each of our lives, there is a mental image of what perfection looks like. And we call forth the power within each of us tonight to begin molding that image into reality. We call forth the power to heal, to bring joy, to put things in divine order, to prosper, and to do any one of the myriad things that must be done in each of our lives to create the perfection that we imagine. We are holy, holy. And tonight we call forth that power and allow it to do its perfect work. In greatest gratitude, we are simply so very thankful for the presence and the power in each of our lives. And we I expect to hear great reports back. I do. I fully expect, once I get my hair out of my eyes, I fully expect miraculous things to occur in each one of our lives this week. We've awakened to the power. And abracadabra. We create as we speak. We have awakened the power and know that it responds. Because it always does. It always does. So, anything else before we close? I may have my window back, but it's quite strange and acting stranger. Dana, we have a closing song. Oh, well, you know that's one of my all-time favorites. So, I'm going to let you go listen to Barbara and know that I love you. I'll see you on Sunday. I can't wait. I love you all too. Okay, hug done. Oh, we have 2 closing songs. Oh, all right. All right. Listen to Barbara, know that you stand on holy ground, and then hit Van Halen and jump. I love you. I love you. I love you. I'll see you all on Sunday.